the world's cities continue to grow at an unprecedented rate, the construction industry has boomed, embracing many new building techniques and materials. Over the past few decades, lightweight cladding has frequently been used as part of the construction process. It's been used to add colour and visual appeal. It can also improve insulation and the building's energy efficiency, and it offers extra levels of rain and weather resistance. However, both in Australia and overseas, certain forms of cladding have been found to be combustible in the event of fire. That's why the VBA, with the help of local councils and fire safety experts, are currently assessing buildings, and they're working with owners, residents and owners' corporations to address the issue and improve the safety of these buildings.
At the VBA, we're looking at buildings constructed in the last 20 years, and we're looking at apartment buildings more than 3 storeys in height and public use buildings more than 2 storeys in height, which typically involve hospitals or accommodation buildings. Our process involves inspecting the external of the building to identify combustible cladding. The combustible cladding we're looking for are ACP or EPS materials, so aluminium composite panels or expanded polystyrene. But we're also doing a thorough assessment of the internal of the building to identify what fire safety systems are installed.
Expanded polystyrene, also referred to as EPS, is commonly used as packaging material. When it's used in buildings, it frequently forms the outer layer of the wall and is typically covered with rendered concrete to seal and protect. Expanded polystyrene is low cost, lightweight and a good insulator, but it's also highly combustible. Aluminium composite panels, also referred to as ACP, comprise 2 thin sheets of aluminium bonded to a polymer core. The polymer is usually polyethylene or PE. They're typically 3 to 6 millimetres thick and have a coated metallic finish.
When we're trying to identify the products, we tend to look at the core. Usually speaking, a darker core indicates a higher combustible content and a lighter core indicates a lower combustible content. That's not always the case, and often we do need to do laboratory testing to confirm that. Both EPS and ACP panels are combustible and will contribute to a fire.
But it's not only the core that determines the level of risk. The location and the extent of the cladding and other design factors also impact safety. That's why, if combustible cladding is found, there may be 1 or more different strategies recommended to improve fire safety. In some cases, the most straightforward approach will be to replace problem cladding with a similar but lower risk alternative. In some other cases, only partial replacement of cladding may be needed. This might be most appropriate on key areas, such as balconies and around exits, including those at ground level and along paths of travel to a safe location. Experts may also recommend other measures to reduce fire risks alongside cladding replacement. This might include upgrading sprinkler systems, installing or upgrading detection and alarm systems, isolating stairways and removing ignition sources.
It's important to understand that most of the buildings are not necessarily unsafe simply because of the presence of these materials, and we do a thorough assessment of all the characteristics of the building, and so cladding that exists on a building may not necessarily alone be an indicator of risk to occupants.
Undertaking replacement will mean thinking about cladding not only in terms of overall safety, but also in terms of weatherproofing, energy rating, acoustic rating and maintenance issues. That's when some professional advice from a building surveyor or a fire safety engineer will be very useful. The VBA has also put together a fact sheet that provides more detail around replacement materials, which you can access on their website. It's in the interests of everyone's safety that buildings are properly assessed and, if needed, made safer. The VBA is taking a collaborative approach. There's a process in place and resources available either online or in person that can help everyone navigate cladding issues and improve the fire safety of their properties.